But there are going to be no Mr. Nice Guys out there on the circuit. Here at Le Mans, the ruthless efficiency of victory is going to be the only thing on their minds. So Morgan Moore for the premium karting team on his Lando Norris chassis, and Cathal Clark on his Red Speed for the Victory Lane karting team, co-run by the new FIA Formula 3 champion Victor Martin. It's going to be a really interesting battle as they run to the first corner. So Morgan Moore on the Lando Norris chassis, pole position from Cathal Clark of the Victory Lane Red Speed. Then Sebastian Minz and Freddie Lloyd from Lewis Bird and Luca Horton. Hayden Eldridge and Leo Robinson from Kian Gerety and Alexis Costa. Aston Sharp and Dylan Visser from Andre De Bia and Fernando Luque. Then Theo Permez and Vilma Svan. We've got one of the CRGs in trouble trying to get around the course. That is Oscar Cuya, I do believe. It is indeed Oscar Cura, the Filipino. So behind Vilma Svan, Jules Van Hoel and Sky De Forny from Oscari Mikola and Thomas Casse. Santeri Hakala and CJ Bennett from Vasilis Apostolidis and Mark Granada. Julio Miranda and Viljami Pona from Victor Poulsen and Andrea Dupé. Tom Martinez and Oliver Undrup from Enzo Pedraza, Kimi Alanko, Amanda Salinen, the very talented deaf young lady, and Oscar Cura, who is 34th and last on the starting grid. So the contenders gearing themselves up once again. Morgan Moore and Cathal Clark on the front row of the grid, trying to charge their way forward to an exceptional battle. So Morgan Moore and Cathal Clark, two of the charming young gentlemen of X30 Junior in the 2022 IWF category. But are they going to be particularly gentlemanly around this course? I would have thought probably not, because they're going to go for the win. Here we go. Morgan Moore, good start. Right in behind him, Sebastian Minz. Moore is going to try and hold this through turn one, and he does. Good move from Moore. Keeps it nice and tidy. Everybody else trying to get it through together. And already into third place, that is Lewis Bird trying to cut his way through with a little bit of pressure from Freddie Lloyd. Somebody's in big trouble in the middle of the pack. That looks like one of the Lando Norris karts dropping back. And certainly we've got a problem with one of the contenders further back in the field. Several drivers starting to lose a bit of pace. Oh, and two karts come together there right at the tail end. I'm afraid that's Kimi Alanko and Oscar Cura, but they managed to keep going. They trip over each other as Lewis Bird manages to place himself in front of Freddie Lloyd. So Cathal Clark now becomes third position again in the 316. But Morgan Moore leads the race after a steady opening lap in front of Sebastian Minz. Then it's Clark, Eldridge, Bird, Lloyd, Robinson, Horton, Sharp and De Bia from Constant. And then Visser, Van Hoel, Svan, Mikola, Permez, Luque and Svorny. So Hayden Eldridge on the Fullerton chassis, named after Terry Fullerton, of course, the man who was Ayrton Senna's greatest ever racing rival. They duel away for position, and the Fullerton chassis popping up to try and make the move on the inside line. Cathal Clark still third, but Hayden Eldridge wants to get through into the top three. And then the two Fusion teammates, Freddie Lloyd of Great Britain and Leo Robinson of Algeria. They're in the top six. Gunning their way through on the far side. This isn't going to be easy to settle out, is it? Here comes the move on the inside of Eldridge as Freddie Lloyd dives in for P4 and gets the place. Good work. So Freddie Lloyd is up the inside line. There goes the move. Robinson to defend from Bird. But Morgan Moore finishes lap two. Sebastian Minz is closing in on him. Here he goes. Trying to get the move on the inside line, and that'll do nicely. So Sebastian Minz takes the lead here from Morgan Moore. Then Cathal Clark and Freddie Lloyd from Eldridge. Robinson, Bird, Horton and Sharp. De Bia, Constant, Visser, Van Hoel, Svan and Mikola. But we have a new leader. His name, Sebastian Minz of Great Britain. Morgan Moore still doing a fair job there in second position. Cathal Clark is right in behind him. So Cathal Clark wanting to get his dive on the inside line, and he goes for it. Not going to wait around. Cathal Clark into second position. Fourth place now for Lloyd as he mixes it up with Eldridge. I think that's Robinson having got through now past, and so too has Lewis Bird. Eldridge back down to P7. And up the inside, that's Lloyd getting through on Morgan Moore. So Freddie Lloyd takes the position. And now neither of the drivers on the front row of the starting grid are in the lead of this race. So this is going to be an interesting situation up to the first corner once again. Moore trying to get back on terms with Freddie Lloyd. But he's not going to make it through there as Cathal Clark drifts in behind Sebastian Minz. Minz is still your race leader. But Cathal Clark running in P2. Trying to go for the overtaking move. Is Clark going to get close enough? Not with Minz protecting the inside line like that, he's not. Freddie Lloyd had a bit of a think on the inside of the victory lane kart. And still they battle for position. Sebastian Mins, here comes Kyle Clark into the banking. Dives through on the inside, nice overtake. The lead changes again. So Morgan Moore has been the race leader. Then Sebastian Mins has led, and now Cathal Clark. So 3 different race leaders in 4 laps. And diving up the inside of Lloyd and Moore, that is Robinson. Moore has to protect and defend from Lewis Bird. And he just about gets it sorted, but now Bird gets up the inside in the final bend. As Sebastian Mins is going to have pressure from Lloyd and Robinson. Bird is there in 5th. Trying to skate his way through for the inside line here at the end of lap 4. And diving through, Moore gets the move on Bird. Eldridge goes with him, and watch out for Luca Horton, the young man from Bahrain. Trying to tuck through again on the inside. Bird is trying to get the move on the inside. As Oskari Mikola, the Finnish driver for Talvar Racing, gets the fastest lap of the race. Currently running as he is in Oskari Mikola in 14th place, working his way through, having made up 5 places thus far. Dive on the inside. That's Robinson getting the move on his teammate Freddie Lloyd. So Leo Robertson now finds himself in 3rd. Some good racing from the contenders. Clark, Mins, Robinson, Lloyd, Moore and Eldridge. They still run very close proximity to each other. Clark running a very solid race here in front of Mins, Robertson, Lloyd and Moore. But Morgan Moore is trying to shake off Hayden Eldridge. The top 4 is still fairly tight and close together at the end of 5 laps. It's going to be a really intriguing situation as they continue to duel away for position and supremacy. But still the drivers battle on. Clark, Mins and Robinson from Lloyd, Moore, Eldridge and Horton. Then Bird, Constant, Sharp and Vilmos-Van. Lap 6 is always going to be a bit of a trigger point in the race when drivers are going to need to put on a bit of a spurt of speed. Try and work their way a little bit further forward. Woodson right on the tail of Mins, and those 2 are going to end up working together here. No, they're not. Robinson decides against working with Mins. He goes for the move instead. Gets up at a 2nd place, and that's enough for Lloyd to get through in a 3rd. So Sebastian Mins won't be too happy. He'll be quite frustrated. Morgan Moore and Hayden Eldridge are tightening up. Freddie Lloyd has the nerve and audacity to gesture to Mins. Come on, let's go get after the 2 leaders now. Sebastian Mins won't be too happy to work with him. We could have done if he'd have stayed where you were. But Moore, Eldridge and Horton still very close together. Lewis Bird is sat there hungrily in 8th place, waiting to pick up some scraps. Alexis Constant now sets the fastest lap. 9th place for him, 55.244. 10th place for Vilmos-Van, and that's enough! A spin there for Hayden Eldridge. Oh, big disappointment for the Fullerton. And diving up the inside, that's Mins, making his bid on the inside of Lloyd. Morgan Moore comes through, and I'm afraid Hayden Eldridge has now dropped to the very back of the grid after this one. What a shame for Eldridge. It was looking very strong indeed, but it hasn't worked out. Now up the inside, Moore gets through on the inside of Freddie Lloyd. Dives through to make the bid, but here it comes, Freddie Lloyd again. Freddie Lloyd makes the move just on the retaliation. Great racing. So Clark has 0.3 of a second now on Leo Robinson. Then it's Mins, Lloyd, Moore, Bird, Constant and Luca Horton. Vilmos-Van in front of Oskari Mikola. Andre de Bia, 11th place, the Irishman in front of Aston Sharp. And then, of course, it is Jules Van Hool. So Cathal Clark has just 4 laps to withstand the pressure from Leo Robinson, but they've raced several times before. They know each other's tricks. It's never going to be easy to hold on to this type of position. Here comes the move from Lloyd. Oh! A little bit of contact there with Morgan Moore. Oh, that was close. Very close. Way too close. Mins, Lloyd, Bird and Moore getting very close to each other there. Freddie Lloyd is going to get his charge now on the inside of Sebastian Mins. But Lloyd not able to make the overtaking move just yet. Now he has. And Mins is going to lose out here big time out of the final turn. He gets punted down to 6th position. Lloyd, Bird and Moore all get the move. You can tell that the racing's getting even more fierce by the lap. The Junior X30s are really starting to dig deep and find something special here. Clark, Robinson, Lloyd, Bird, Moore and Mins from Constant, Svan, Horton and De Bia. But it's only really Clark versus Robertson for the victory. They are 2.4 seconds clear of everybody else. And Leo Robertson is going to bide his time. He's not going to be too greedy here. He'll wait for the moment to get the overtake on Cathal Clark. Clark would have fought tooth and nail to get this victory. He won't want to lose it to Leo Robertson. But both drivers are trying to resuscitate their week after a tricky start. So Clark could do with the win. So too, though, could Leo Robertson. They come off the final turn. We're on to the home straight. 2 to go. Here we go. Clark is defending from Robertson. Robertson trying to go for the long way round to try and tuck in for the inside line. Lloyd and Bird. Moore and Mins. Constant and Svan. Luca Horton B9 up the inside. Robertson thought he had a gap there to Cathal Clark. It wasn't to be. Decides to think better of it. Waits for another chance. Robertson is still right there behind the victory lane karting red speed of Cathal Clark. This isn't done yet. Clark and Robertson still dueling for the win. Third position is up for grabs though. Freddie Lloyd and Lewis Bird still dueling away for position as well. So this is going to get tight on the final lap between Lloyd and Bird. Sebastian Mins is given a warning flag. That's clearly for his efforts a little earlier on. Hayden Aldridge will probably feel very aggrieved about Sebastian Mins earlier on. But now we're going to get through to the final lap of this race, and Clark is trying to hang on here in front of Robinson. Clark is trying to park it round the outside. Robinson comes sweeping in, but Clark is still holding it to the apex. Just keep that kart as wide as a Buick and you'll be able to hold on to the victory, Clark. Clarky boy is going to go for it. But so too is Leo Robinson. Britain versus Algeria. Red Speed versus Cosmic. Victory Lane versus Fusion. All the way round this course. Robinson trying to make his bid to get through. And here comes the opportunity. Dives in. Clark goes round the outside. Holds the lead for the moment. Robinson does his best. But Cathal Clark is going to hold on to this. The British driver now comes down the back straight. Robinson looking for the mistake. It doesn't come yet. Clark is still parking the inside apex. Trying to hold it. Keeping Leo Robinson at bay. They come off the final turn. Almost together. And it will be Cathal Clark. He'll get there in front of Robinson. Great job. Great race. And Cathal Clark gets the win from Leo Robinson by 0.094. But he quite obviously had half a kart length in front. Great racing. And a solid battle from our contenders. They have been having an absolutely exceptional duel out there so far. Clark, Robinson and Bird. From Moore, Mins and Constant. Then Svan, Horton, De Beer and Kian Geraghty. Great quality. Great racing all the way through. And an astonishing challenge for all of the contenders as they constantly make more and more speed to come from these karts. It's a great job so far from our contenders. So a really solid race battle and a great drive from all of our contenders out there on the course. They've been absolutely amazing. And a solid run. A solid performance from all of our contenders there. So a really solid start to proceedings. So a victory then for Cathal Clark in front of Leo Robinson and Lewis Bird. Morgan Moore and Sebastian Mins from Alexis Constant and Vilma Svan. Luca Horton and Andrea De Beer from Kian Geraghty and Theo Permez. Mark Granada and Fernando Luque from Jules Van Hoel and Sky De Forny. 16th place going the way of Ascari Mikkola from Aston Sharp. Behind them, Vasilis Apostolidis in front of Thomas Kirsey and Santeri Hakela. Then Julia Miranda from Andrea Dupé, Dylan Visser and Viljami Pauna. Tom Martinez and Enzo Pedraza from Amanda Salinen, Victor Poulsen, CJ Bennett and Hayden Eldridge. There were 4 other finishers. Oliver Ondrop. Oh my goodness, my timing screen has changed so quickly I couldn't keep up with it. Oliver Ondrop, Kimi Alanko, Freddie Lloyd, who dropped all the way to 33rd on the last lap, and Oscar Cura.